Hey guys, welcome back. So just continuing our discussion on solving quadratic equations. So we just kind of finished a factoring review on how to do that, and so now we're just going to solve some more equations. So the first idea over here is just we're going to multiply some simple numbers here, and hopefully what you guys see is that anytime 5 times 0 answers 0, 12 times 0 is 0, 0 times negative 10 is 0, and 0 times 0 is 0. Okay, so anything we multiply something by 0, the answer is 0. So while we're doing this is something we call the zero product property, okay, which says if A times B equals 0, then either A and or B is 0. Okay, so if I'm going to multiply two things together and get an answer of 0, then at least one of those numbers must be 0. Okay, so that's what we call the zero product property. So if we look at x minus 4 times x plus 3 equals 0, this is exactly what we have here. I'm multiplying x minus 4 times x plus 3 equals 0. So the zero product property tells us then either x minus 4 equals 0 or x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, so now for this, if I add a 4 to both sides, that means x equals 4. Or if I subtract 3 from both sides, x equals negative 3. Okay, so if I was plugging a 4 into here, 4 minus 4 is 0, 4 plus 3 is 7. That would give me 0 times 7, which does in fact equal 0. If I have this one, if I plug in a negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7, negative 3 plus 3 is 0, and negative 7 times 0 does equal 0. So my two solutions to this equation are x equals 4 and x equals negative 3. Okay. Now, what I put below this is x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. Now, the reason why I did this is this is actually the exact same equation as what I have over here. This is in factored form. This is an expanded form over here. What we saw earlier on is like, how do we solve something like this algebraically? Well, we want to convert this degree 2 polynomial x squared minus x minus 12, so this quadratic over here, and we want to put it into factored form like this, x minus 4 times x plus 3, right? So if I factor it, and I'll just kind of review again how we get towards that. Well, this term and this term has to multiply to make this, so it's going to be x and x. And this term multiplies to make negative 12, which is negative 4 and positive 3. But check, x squared plus 3x minus 4x is negative x over here. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Okay, so again, is we can take this equation and we can make it into factored form like this. Okay, now we already saw the solutions are. We know that x equals 4 and x equals negative 3. So these are the two solutions to this equation over here. So what we're doing for the rest of the section now is we're going to be starting with equations in this form over here. X squared minus 6x minus 16 equals 0. Okay, so we need to go and convert this into factored form. Okay, so if I have this, I'm just going to try to figure out what this is going to be. Well, this and this has to multiply to make x squared, so it's going to be x and x. This term and this term has to multiply to make negative 16. Well, what's that going to work? Negative 8 and positive 2. Okay. Now again, there are different ways. So this is the correct one over here. So my check would be x squared plus 2x minus 8x is negative 6x here, and negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. So this does work. So then either x minus 8 equals 0 and x equals 8, or x plus 2 equals 0, and that means x equals negative 2. Okay, so we're looking and we want to be able to factor this, and the zero product property says if something times something equals 0, then one of the somethings must equal 0. Okay, so then either x minus 8 equals 0, so x equals 8 is one solution, or x plus 2 is 0, and x equals negative 2 is the other solution. Okay, same idea over here, which is to kind of get good at factoring these guys. X squared plus 7x minus 60 equals 0. So I'm going to solve this guy by putting an x here and an x here. Now, what multiplies to make negative 60? Well, let's try 10 and negative 6. Okay, this is not going to work. X squared minus 6x plus 10x is 4x, not positive 7, so that did not work. Okay, what else works? 12 and 5. 12 and negative 5, this one will work. X squared minus 5x plus 12x is 7x, so that works, and 12 times negative 5 is negative 60. So either x plus 12 equals 0, that means x equals negative 12, or x minus 5 equals 0, and that means x equals 5. And there's going to be solutions to this equation here. All right, other example 4. 4x squared plus 27x minus 27 equals 0. Okay, again, it's going to be a little bit harder to factor this one over here. Let's try a few checks over here, guess and checks over here. So 4x squared, I can go 2x and 2x. Now there's only one way to get 7. I can go 7, negative 1. So I guess I could have gone negative 7 and positive 1, so that's something we can check as well afterwards. But this is not going to work. 4x squared minus 2x plus 7x is going to be 12x, not 27x over here. So this did not work. Let's go try something else. Well, there's another way I can get to 4x squared. I can go 4x and 1x, and then I can go with minus 1 and plus 7, and this one will work for us. 4x squared, that one works, plus 28 minus x is 27x, and then we have negative 7. So either 4x minus 1 equals 0, and that means 4x equals 1, and that means x equals 1/4, or x plus 7 equals 0, and that means x equals negative 7. Okay, so we have the two solutions of x equals 1/4 or x equals negative 7, and that's going to be the solution to this quadratic equation here. Okay, so I'm just continuing going through these guys over here. 3x squared minus 7x minus 20 equals 0. We have to try to factor this one over here. So we have 3x and x, okay? All right, so what's going to give us our answer of, let's try this and see if it works, okay? So we have 3x squared plus 15x minus 4x is going to be 11x, not 7, so that's not going to work here. Let's try flipping these guys. Let's put the 4 here, and let's put the 5 here. 3x squared minus 12x plus 5x is negative 7. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Okay, so either 3x plus 5 equals 0. That means 3x equals negative 5. That means x equals negative 5/3. Or x minus 4 equals 0. That means x equals 4. So my two solutions are x equals negative 5/3 and x equals 4. All right, guys, I hope it's a quick little introduction into solving quadratic equations by factoring. Hope that helps, and I will see you guys in the next video.